What's up, guys? Chasing Labour here with episode number 2 of our F1 Manager 22 career mode. We are playing as Williams. We're going into the second round of the season against Jeddah in just 4 game days' time. But before we get into that, we've got a few things we've got to tackle. We've got some upcoming events to keep us busy. First, let's have a look at the inbox. Our post-race debrief from Bahrain, where it looks like the top speed of car 1 could be better compared to the grid, which we know. We've noticed the braking of Nicholas Latifi could be improved. We should consider developing this area when they've gained enough experience to make them a more well-rounded driver. That's pretty good advice. Apparently we had a great race. We met our expectations, and their confidence in leader has certainly increased. And our overview, Leclerc took the checkered flag. Leclerc was the best of the front runners in practice, and it's basically all Charles Leclerc. Ferrari are on top, followed by Red Bull, followed by Mercs. So there we go. Before we get into the actual race itself, though, reminder we're playing on the Xbox One because stuff. So I'm going to see if we can manufacture any new parts, because that feels like it might be a good idea. I just have a small feeling we probably are lacking some parts somewhere, and I think because I know Jeddah's a good place to hit some walls, I think we're going to develop a couple more of the chassis. I will make a new one at some point when I have the ability to. But as those who watched episode number 1 know, we are currently designing some brand new front wings and side pods and other such, front wings and underfloor. So we're going to just sort of stick to developing maybe a couple more parts of the things we're not developing in a hurry, just to make sure we have something on the go. So we've got parts going for everything at this point, which is always a good look for us. So we'll come out of that. In terms of today's race, what we need to be looking at here is the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We'll have a little look at the car attributes needed. High speed, medium speed in the cornering. DRS is very important. Expected strategy, a medium to hard, or a hard to medium, or a soft hard medium. I think I'm probably going to go medium to hard. That feels like it's going to be the winner here. Previous race results, we're going to see that on powertrain usage. Let's have a little bit of a look, though. When we go into our car performance, the car analysis, we can have a look here and see how we stack up for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We're not far off on top speed. We're like, just under a kilometre an hour down, which is not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Acceleration, we're not far down. Cornering, we're going to we're not far behind, but we're not there yet, is kind of what we're saying. We're going to need some luck for today. So otherwise, nothing to report. The scouting is still ongoing on the drivers we were scouting, which I believe, if I can remember how to do this. I've not played this game in a couple of days and I cannot remember how to do this. So we're looking at Gasly, who we're still scouting, probably a few more days I think till we get a scout report on him. And we are scouting Seb Vettel as well, just to have a little look. We'll have a quick look at the board, just because they've said their confidence in us has gone up. Let's see what we're looking at. They're happy with our race performance. We're on target with our current progress. That's good stuff. So let's just go forward a few days. We're going to get a couple of facility upgrades. First, we've got our race simulator upgraded, which is going to help our drivers to develop, which is always pretty good. We've got some kind of important email to check out. Race simulator upgrade complete. We're going to gain 40% weekly experience, which is good. It's going to cost a little bit more, but it's probably worth spending that little bit of extra money to get the drivers a little bit better. We're going to go forward again. We're going to get an upgrade on our tour centre, which is going to let us make more money, and we've got a brand new suspension ready to install as well, which is probably going to be quite helpful. Race preview, everyone's keeping an eye on Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, which is expected. Manufacturing the new design has just finished. I think I already installed that on the cars already. I think I was just a spare, but we'll have a little look just to be absolutely certain. I have got that fit. That's quite good, looking good on that one, and make sure we're going to fit on that one as well. We do. We've got the new one fitted, which is good. So let's carry on to the race weekend. We're gonna simulate. That's what I was looking for. We're gonna simulate the first couple of practice sessions on this one, purely because I want to see what kind of setup we end up with going into P3. If I can. Race prep, partly cloudy for the forecast. It's going to be a 50 lap race. That's all good stuff. everything should be pretty good. We look at the circuit info to help us plan our strategy. We'll go to performance targets here. Reach Q3 seems unlikely. I think we're going to try and get into Q2 because it's not a huge potential loss. Finishing position, guarantee 15th. I mean, sure, we're not going to worry about a finish position streak or a qualifying position streak because I don't think we can do a streak of anything of any note at this point. And let's go into the circuit, into the race weekend, and see what we can do here in Jeddah, because hopefully we'll have a really good weekend. I'm hoping this won't be an hour and a half long episode this week as well. I will actually skip through some of the race just because there were long periods where nothing was happening, and also we did a lot of setting up for the series in episode 1. So hopefully we'll breeze through this one.
Formula One is back. Welcome to one of the fastest circuits on the calendar here at Jeddah. The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix is about to kick off, and the atmosphere here is electric. The Jeddah Street Circuit has one of the fastest average speeds, as well as the most corners of any track on the calendar. Good high-speed downforce is going to make life in the fast lane a little easier for drivers here this weekend. We might still be early in the season, but that doesn't mean we can sit back and relax. Everything is up for grabs, and nothing is certain at this stage. Okay then, let's get to it.
So as Croftley says, let's get to it into P1. Like I said, P1 we are largely going to simulate that one, so we'll continue there. I am going to take Latifi out of the car, put Jack Aitken in, because I feel like getting him that experience is probably a good idea, because that will help us immensely. And this is a very interesting setup. I guess we'll start with sort of some kind of there, 9.5 on the wing, just a simple change really. I'm going to do a run plan. Let's see what we can do on the tyres before we get into the run plan. That's a good idea, because if the tyres only do 10 laps, I don't want to go long with them. They'll do 21. Okay, we'll do a run plan of 19 for both cars. This will kind of help us get used to that one, and I guess we'll have a little look over here as well. We'll do the run plan of 19 for Alex Albon as well. And setup wise, I think it's going to be much of a muchness for this one. We'll go 9.5 there as well on the front wing, and we'll just simulate it and see what kind of happens here is sort of my plan. So we'll simulate this session, see what happens here, see where our setup comes in. Hopefully somewhere nice would be good. Let's see what we've come back to as we see Gotifi sat in the garage wondering why he's not driving. And let's look at the times for P1. We have not made the top 15. Albon, though, has made 18th. Aitken has made 20th and last, which is to be expected. He's probably the worst driver out there. Setup confidence, though, is very, very low, which is not something we're looking for, if we're quite honest here, is it? It's not really what we were going for, so let's have a little look at the setup. I'm also going to do, because I don't think we're actually going to use the soft compound at any point during the race. We're going to go to mediums for this session. Let's have a look, see what we've come up with. We're optimal on traction, which is pretty good. We will, guess, go there. Rear wing angle will go somewhere towards the middle. Braking stability, we could go there maybe. Traction there feels solid. And let's have a little look at the toe out, see what we can do here. Maybe we'll go that way. I think that could be okay. We'll give that one a run. We're going to go with a run plan of 29 laps this time, I think. That's a pretty good look. Let's have a look, see where Albon feels that we can improve his car before we deal with anything else. So we'll go to that 8.5 there, which apparently that was great. So we don't want to tweak that too much unless we go down a little bit. This one we need to move. Oh, I don't know why. Let's do it in that way. Let's go that way. Let's move the anti-roll bar distribution that way. If anyone was under the impression I know what I'm doing here, they'd be very sorely mistaken. I am not known for my engineering skills. I'll make you a great cocktail. I cannot engineer to say what. Let's see if we can do some tweak to that, maybe. Let's try there. that might work. And again, we're going to go for 29 laps, but we're going to go out on the medium tyre for this one, because that's always a good shout. And let's give this a little simulate, and let's see where we get to with our confidence in the setup after P2, shall we? We'll see what the times look like. Have we improved anything anywhere? And we're up in 18th and 19th, which is slightly better, but it could just be Latifi being a slightly better driver than Jack Aitken. 89 on that setup though, which is pretty strong actually. We'll take that. I wish there was a way you could copy that across and see how that goes. That would be a really
Our race weekend continues as we head into FP3 and then qualifying. Ahead of the race tomorrow, the teams will be putting their practice data to use and making sure that their drivers have the very best chance of setting a lap time that will edge out the competition in qualifying. Drivers may know a track inside and out, but unless they have the setup to complement their ability, their efforts may be for nothing. Hold on tight, because we're getting underway.
So we're actually going to do P3. We'll do P3 properly, because we've got to feel like we've probably found ourselves something here. I will go out for this one on the hard tyres. We're going to run the hard tyres the entire time. Let's have a look, set up how we're feeling here. We're feeling pretty good. Maybe a bit more traction. That. And maybe... let's just go with that. That might be enough of a thing to tip us into the 90% range. Our run plan, I think we're going to start by doing 15 laps on the hard compound tyre. That's a good start. And we will have a look at what's gone wrong with Albon's setup, because that's a big question mark for us. So lots of oversteer. We want to bring that oversteer down as much as we can. The controller is very much annoying me. Right, let's do that. Braking. Anti-roll bar distribution. We can't really do much with that. I feel like that's probably going to help. We'll bring that a little bit closer. Move that across a little bit. The toe out, that's... let's try that. Let's see where that goes. We can always tweak that during the session. We'll go out and we'll have a little look at that, see if we can get something going. We'll also go to the hard for Albon so he can get used to those tyres as well. Obviously that's going to reflect in our lap times as well, but we'll manage the session. We'll see what happens, and let's see what we can get out of this.
Radio check.
Radio check, loud and clear.
Okay, it's green now.
Okay, so we'll send Latifi out first. Do enjoy this car drop graphic. It'll look even better when the car is fast enough to go around the track at the same speed it leaves the garage at. And then we'll go to Albon as well. We'll send Albon out for this one and we'll see where we end up. Hopefully we'll end up somewhere decently respectable. After this one we'll get a good feeling for the track, but we'll see what happens. So we're heading back to the garage after that first run, and we can see here that Alex Albon's confidence in the setup has gone up to 61. We're waiting to hear back from the team feed. His setup confidence hasn't improved on this run. We'll just kind of get over it because we know we've got a really good setup that we're really happy with. And Albon, I think, is just going to be the guy we have to work with now for much of the session because we need to focus on getting him and getting ready recently. And getting Albon ready is really kind of our key to success. Hopefully we'll come into the garage now. We've got about 36 minutes left in the session, so plenty of time to go out on a run should we need to. We still don't really know anything about the setup for Latifi, which is a bit of a concern. So before we do anything with the setup, let's go to a tyres, and I think we're going to send him out for... we're going to use another set of softs. I guess we could use another set of softs here. We'll send him out... actually, is that a good idea? Is that a good idea? That's locked to the race. Yeah, let's send him out a set of softs. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Famous last words. Car setup. Let's have a little bit of a look. He seems like he's improved his happiness a little bit with that. So we're going to do a run plan here of 25 laps, 15 laps. That's good enough to get him out and make him happy. So we'll do that. We'll send him out to get things looking good. Let's have a little bit of a look at Albon, see where he's happy and not happy. He's not happy in a lot of places. Okay, let's have a little look at the braking stability. Maybe we'll go that way with it. Cornering, I guess, there, maybe. The traction we felt like was great, so we'll go there with it and work out what the toe out is affected by. It's going to be a straight are affected by the rear wing. Yeah, I knew that. I was just testing you guys. It's fine. Right, front wing angle. What can we do with the front wing here? We're going to go to maybe there. That doesn't really improve anything, does it? Doesn't really improve a lot. Where are we going with this? Can we get some more stability without compromising ourselves on the straights? That's kind of the plan here. Let's try that and see if that is any better. I think we're going to go with how much life we've got left in this set of hards. Probably not a lot, to be honest. The set of hards we've got on is at 60. Oh, we can probably get a bit more life out of that. That's fine. Let's do 15 laps with Alex on that configuration. Let's see how that goes. Hopefully it'll get there and we'll get something good out of this as things stand. We are 17th with Latifi, 18th with Albon. So let's send out Latifi. Let's give Albon's car a chance for reconfiguration, because that's going to take some time, and I'll come back in just a second once we've done this run and we've got a better idea of where the setup's at. So whilst I've been waiting for Albon's car to get reconfigured, I actually got a radio call from Latifi saying that his current setup, isn't actually as good as the last one. So I think we're just going to revert to the last one, and I think we're going to send out to do something a little bit just like that. Really, we're just going to send him out for another run, more of the same. Essentially, we're going to send him out for another run, more of the same. I think we will fuel up for I don't know how many laps we can get out of him with this one. Let's have a look at the tyres. What's the tyres saying? 94%, 21 laps. So if we go for 18, yeah, let's do that. Let's just send him straight back out as quick as we can, and we'll see what we can do. Hopefully Albon will also get out there and massively improve his setup. So sending Alex out for another run with half an hour left to go in qualifying, which hopefully will get him going. I don't know why that's not showing us Albon. Maybe his cars are getting tyres or something. I don't know what's happening there. There we go, because I haven't hit play. Good stuff. I knew what I was doing the entire time. So, Albon going out for some more laps. Hopefully we'll get Latifi out for some more laps as well. Let's see where we come back.
Schumacher crashed.
Yep, copy.
So a crash for Michael Schumacher brings out the
Yellow ahead.
VSC.
Yep, copy.
Practice as we come towards the end of Albon's latest
Virtual
run.
safety car, slow down.
We are
Copy.
going to ignore that for Latifi, and we're going to ignore that for Albon, because I think this could be good practice for us as things go.
There's been a crash.
Let's have a look at
We
Schumacher's
can take a look
crash.
now. Right,
Very
watch
reminiscent
this.
of real life.
There's Schumacher.
Going behind Latifi,
Clearly, something went very, very wrong there.
straight into the wall. Very close to where he crashed in real life as well. Maybe not as hard, but, you know, there we
And
go.
that was a bitter blow for the team. And it may have really hurt their overall chances.
So, we've come back to the garage, and Albon still only 69% confident in his car setup, which is a real concern now. I mean, it's all good, but it's not great, and that's kind of a problem. So what we're going to do is just do a little tweak that way. Just a little tweak on the front wing. Maybe that's going to have enough to keep him going. Tyres-wise, we've not got much left on these mediums, on these hards, so we're going to go out on, I guess, a set of softs, just to see what we can do. Any issues with the car? No issues with the car there. We're going to do a plan for 15 laps, but let's be honest, probably won't be 15 laps. We might not even get the car for him to go and do any more laps. Latifi, I think, should be going till the end of the session, which is fine. And let's see what we can do with Alex. Can we get his confidence in the car up any while I'm thinking about it? Let's send Latifi on a bit of a push just to see what we can do. So we've reached the P3. We didn't get another setup confidence number from Albon, which has me slightly concerned. Hopefully he'll be adding us some pointers before we go into qualifying. Latifi, I mean, he's staying at 89, it's fine. In terms of the scoring charts though, we've got Latifi in 17th, Albon in 19th, which is a pretty good return, to be quite honest. It's a pretty good return for us as a team, and hopefully we can get something from Albon in qualifying, although if he's not happy with the setup, by the time the lights go out, I think we could be in real trouble. So a little bit of a look at the P3 results. We have maintained the positions we thought we would, which is pretty good. And in terms of setup confidence, we still don't really know where we are at with Albon, which is a bit of a concern here. Hopefully I've not made that setup worse. I don't think I have, but I guess we'll go into qualifying, and that's where we're going to find out. We're going to go on the softs. We're going to be pretty strong here. We're going to go out one lap straight away, one lap in the middle, one lap towards the end. That's kind of my plan here. So I might even do 2 laps in the middle just to really kind of bed things in. So let's start qualifying. Let's see what Crofty's got to say, and let's see where we can get ourselves on the grid. Hopefully Q2. As I said straight out the start of the session, I am hoping we can get some lovely towing going on for Albon in this first run, or give Latifi the tow in the second run if we can. But let's see how this goes out on our first sort of lap. As we go out, we are not going to take manual control because I'll definitely screw that up. Let's wait till the end of the lap, and we will come back and we'll see what the flying lap looks like. So here we are then, on board with Nicholas Latifi as we come around the final corner into the DRS zone, ready to start our first flying lap in Jeddah. Hopefully we'll start putting together some really good times here. We'll soon find out. Don't know why it's doing that. That's always... I still haven't fully mastered these controls yet. I don't know if that's completely obvious, but I haven't mastered these controls yet. So let's bring up some sector times so we can see what's going on in and around the track here as Latifi hits the chicane. Love this twisty back section of this track. It's a nightmare to drive on the F1 game, by the way. Highly recommend you don't attempt that when you're as bad at it as I famously am. And going into the hairpin now, hopefully we can get some good time here. We are green, but of course it is our first run, so that is to be expected. What we're looking for here is just a really good time. We've got a couple of cars ahead of us. I think we've got both Alpha Tauris on the track ahead of us, so they'll be kind of our benchmark times. They'll give us a good idea of where we're at. This looks like someone moving slow. I don't know who it is, but I hope they stay out of the way. That would be ideal. Looks like they're not staying out of our way. They got right in our way, that Alpha Tauri, and that has not helped us even in the slightest. And I think we may have had slight issues with this run already, which is not ideal. I think we've definitely been compromised here. We are about to come through that last corner, which is a wonderfully tightening corner. I love this corner. I love driving this corner on the F1 game as well. It's a beautiful corner, great exit from that. Hopefully we can set some kind of time. Yuki Tsunoda has crossed the line with a 1:30, and we're going to come up about 3 seconds short. Albon does 1.1 short, so Latifi definitely got held up by the Alpha Tauri. But Albon might be in the game a little bit. Bottas just 2 tenths behind. We're heading back to the garage, so let's see what we can do here with our second run. So the cars are into the garage. Let's have a little look, see what we know about the setup we are running. Do we have any more? We haven't got any more confirmation on the setup, but to be fair, we did have quite a good lap, so I've got to assume that setup is at least pretty decent. I'm going to stick a fresh set of boots on, and actually my run plan in this one is going to be for, I think, 3 flying laps. Does 3 flying laps sound? Let's do maths. That is 3, 6, 7.5 minutes. That should be enough. Should be enough. Let's find out. Let's just risk it. Risk it, as Araba would say, for a chocolate biscuit. We'll do that. We'll also do 3 laps and fresh tyres. Good idea. 3 laps and fresh tyres for Nicholas Latifi, and then I need to make sure I send them out in the right order so that it is Latifi that gets the toe this time. So we'll send out Albon, send out Latifi. Hopefully Latifi will be quick enough to catch Albon up. I wasn't trying to leave that big a gap between them, but I'm just not used to how quickly the cars come out yet. And we are out on track, ready to start our second set of flying laps. So go around for our first flying lap of this set of 3, and it is Alex Albon that is our lead driver because of faster cars overtaking. He seems to have ditched Latifi a little bit, which is a little bit cheeky. He is supposed to give him the toe, but he's ditched Latifi a little bit, and he's now stuck behind a Red Bull, which is not helpful. And I think we may have had our lap disrupted again, unless this Red Bull is of course on a flyer, in which case we might be okay. I mean, that's definitely disrupted our lap. He wasn't on a flyer, that was very naughty, and I'm not sure which Red Bull that was, but he's definitely not helped us with this particular lap. We are yellow first sector, which kind of says it all there. Where will Latifi come in? Hopefully he's had a bit more luck. We've also gone yellow, so about the same in that first sector. Can we get green second sector and really push on here to try and get ourselves up the order a little bit safer? We've got Ricardo, Norris, Alonso, Ocon and Stroll who haven't set times yet, which is a slight concern because at least 4 of those cars are definitely faster than us overall. So we're going to actually head into second sector, still yellow. He's had to go past the Haas as well. Latifi, though, is improving second sector. Maybe we'll jump on board with Latifi, see how this goes, because Albon, I think, is going to need another couple of laps to get himself up to speed, get himself some clear air. But Latifi's going to hit that same Haas's traffic, and that Haas done a terrible job of staying out of the way. I don't even know which Haas that is. What is he trying to overtake us coming out of that? That is absolutely disgraceful. Can Latifi improve his time? He's 4.2 down as we speak. Where is he going to be in terms of the leader? 3.7, still not quite good enough, but again, I do think he was held up a slight little bit. We go back to Albon, we'll see Albon is on a cool down lap here, trying to get his tyres back in the window. We'll come back in just a second when we go for flying lap number 2 and see what we can get out of this. So we're rounding the last corner, ready to start our second flying lap of this set. We currently have Albon in 16th, Latifi in 19th, and Albon needs a good uninterrupted lap here. We need nothing to come out of the pits for either driver before they get moving, which is the ideal. If we can get out of this without anyone interrupting us, we've got a lot of clear space in front of us. I think we have achieved that. I don't think anyone came out in front of Latifi. We'll have a little check. But I don't think anyone came out in front of Latifi. They didn't. That's beautiful. So we'll go back to Albon, because Albon really needs a big lap here. We really need for him to do something very, very special here, and hopefully he can produce it, because that would do us very nicely if he could. Let's see what we can do. Going into the hairpin. Love that sweeping, very slightly banked hairpin. I'm sure it's more banked than the way on this camera. We're still yellow in that first sector. Even without any interruptions, we're still yellow in that first sector. We are 2 tenths away from 15th with Albon. We very much need to go, and we are also very much to be aware that Gasly is behind us. So Albon again goes yellow, second sector. Is Latifi going to go green second sector? That would be the ideal for us. I think I might pull these drivers in at the end of this flying lap, get some fresh tyres and really set out to try and achieve something, because otherwise we're going to be in real trouble, I think, because we are going yellow again with Albon. We are green Latifi, but that doesn't mean much. He's still 1.2 down on his teammate. Let's have a little look at Latifi as he crosses the line. What can he do here? Can he improve his time anything at all? I mean, he has improved to within 3 tenths of Albon, but I am thinking very much, let's call these cars in, let's get them both back into the pit lane, put some fresh tyres on, and we'll see what we can do from here. So straight in with Albon, we're going to go literally fresh set of boots. We're going to check the setup, see if he's still not okay with the setup, I don't think. run plan. We are literally going for one big flying lap here, and I think other cars have already started leaving the pit lane. So that's going to very much be a case of let's get him out and get him out quickly. We're going to do exactly the same thing here with Latifi. One flying lap just to get us going. Albon, we are sending out. Latifi, we are sending out. There is no time to spare here. There's 2 minutes left on the clock. We should be the last cars crossing the line, if indeed we do get across the line. I know an out lap here, a warm-up lap, takes somewhere in the region of about 1 minute 50, so we might make it just about. We might just about make it. Let's see how we fare. And it looks like, although we will be the last to cross the line, it looks like we may well have just about made it with time to spare. Albon about to cross the line with about 20 seconds left in the session here. Plenty of clear air ahead of him. He manages to make it. Is Latifi going to make it? Latifi gets himself on a flying lap. 10 seconds to go. Okay, let's see what we can do here. We really need some big sector times. There's lots of grip on the track, even if the rubber is low. There's lots of grip on the track here. Latifi or Albon, just 2 tenths needed. Gasly, though, of course, will be on a big flying lap. So will Stroll. Kind of got to keep an eye on those guys as well to see where they come in. We will luckily know exactly where we are and what we need to do when we cross the line. The only car anywhere near us in front is the Haas, and I'm assuming it's the Haas of Schumacher, but we shouldn't necessarily catch him. We should have enough gap as the session comes to an end. The checkered flag has been flown on this session, and our boys are on green first sectors, which is what we like to see. We like to see the green first sectors. It doesn't tell us how up they are, but they are up as drivers are crossing the line. Magnussen, the man on the bubble, are 2.4 down from the leaders. Perez now the man at risk because Magnussen has gone to 10th. We could do something here. It's unlikely. We could do something. Sonoda now, 1.7. He's on the bubble. What are we going to do here? Can we get ourselves within 2 seconds of the leader? That would be ideal. Looks like Stroll's crossing the line. He's gone above us, but not by much. Schumacher has crossed the line. Very much on us now. Albon about to cross the line. What's he done? He's gone to 18th. And Latifi is going to start in 20th. I mean, I guess my predictions of Q2 were a little bit bold, if I'm honest, but we have at least managed to not completely embarrass ourselves. Big question mark, I guess. I mean, the leaders were doing 29s. Leclerc was doing a 29.1. We've done a 31.7 and a 31.9. So we're very much going to be battling with the Astons again, which is probably not what we were looking for if we go into the race.
Welcome to race day. And before we get down to it, last minute checks are being made.
Williams had a good performance in qualifying. Now they'll be eager to demonstrate that they can have an even better race. Haas proved quite resourceful during qualifying. That puts them in a very good position to make the most of this race start. The sky tonight is mostly clear, with only a few clouds. Nothing to worry about for now, but let's see how the situation unfolds.
Well, this is certainly going to be a challenging but no doubt exciting race here in Jeddah.
So, race day in Jeddah, let's see what we can do here. We've got no choice but to continue. We've got Albon up to 78% confidence. I don't know if I want to have a little fiddle with that and see if I can improve it just by adjusting the front wing angle. I mean, I don't really know enough about that to do anything with it, is kind of where we're at here. I mean, I could do that little adjustment. I don't know if it's wise. I think we're just going to leave it. We're just going to leave that for now. Right, in terms of a race strategy, that's going to be a thing we need to look at first and foremost. I think I want to get Latifi going quickly. I think we're probably going to go with this A strategy because I can't imagine it being a bad idea. The way I'm thinking, what if there's an early safety car? That poses questions. I think we'll go with that, and if we have an early safety car, we will take advantage of it. I think we're going to do it. Ooh, I don't want to bin that off. That's not the way that works. We'll try it with both drivers. They're probably going to come in somewhere near each other, if I'm quite honest. We've got 50 laps on the race. I think I'm going to start probably on 48 laps of fuel for both cars, because we can always save if we need to. And I'd rather start the race lighter. Does that make sense? I'd rather start the race lighter and maybe get us a bit more of a boost off the line. Get our position, see if we can hold it. Safety car will help us out with fuel. That's sort of my plan. Let's see what we can do, though.
The drivers are lined up tonight under mostly clear skies. Here we have Alexander Albon. With their starting position in the back 10, they'll have their work cut out for them. And looking at the second Williams car. Slower than most yesterday, so today they'll be starting from the bottom half of the grid. Will their hard work pay off today? It's almost time for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
The track with the green flag. The 5 red lights should
and it's
be
lights
on,
out,
and we go.
And away we go.
Okay, we're going to ride on board with Albon here because I expect him to probably make the better start. Let's go to the onboard camera, see how he goes into turn 1. Are we on board with Albon? We're not on board with Albon. I was like, he got a really good start, didn't he? I was very confused for a second. Okay, so we just need to do something very special here to get that kind of push up onto the back of Vettel.
That's it.
We've gained a position on Stroll, that's always good, and we'll probably do a bit more of it. In fact,
and there's an overtake from Williams.
Let's see the
Here's
overtake,
the replay.
Why not?
Now we see the Williams here.
And he's cut that very fine up the inside, but he's made it stick going into the hairpin, cut back
Moving
in front.
up a place there.
I think what I might
Excellent
do
work
is
from them.
give our guys free rein on the ERS.
Back in the garage, the team absolutely loved it.
So we'll do that whilst we're on board. We're going to go into overtake mode with both drivers because we can at least burn some ERS in this early stage. Let's see what we can do to get ourselves a bit of a good run here. We might be able to do something. Let's go to Albon's on board. We are on Albon's on board. I knew what I was doing. I was just testing you guys. And who knows, maybe he can get onto the back of Vettel. Get Vettel here would be a good start if we can pull it off. I don't know though. I mean, we're sort of stuck in this battle with the Alfa Romeos, and I'd like to get us pushed up the grid to the point where we can challenge a Schumacher or a Tsunoda. It shouldn't be entirely impossible as we deploy some overtake here. Switch to the left, cut to the right. Sorry, switch to the right, cut to the left. We're desperately having a look here. Are we going to get him going into this corner? We're going to have a look. Are we going to go for it? We're not quite going for it. Albon maybe he's chicking out. Is he not? Can he get better traction off the corner? He can't. He cut that one a little bit too fine. And Latifi isn't having much better luck. He is stuck a ways back and probably in a bit of a fight with Lance Stroll. We're going down this main front straight though. Not going to have another look here. I don't know if we're stuck in position here or if we're just going to keep pushing. Latifi, I feel like, is not using the DRS properly, so we're going to go full deploy.
You can use energy. Use energy. You can use energy.
See if we can get ourselves somewhere. Just anywhere would be the ideal from here. We just want to try and get him pushed away from Stroll, and if we can get him pushed away from Stroll before we start having DRS as an active feature of the battle, we might be okay. Let's push a little bit on tyres. Someone's locked up somewhere. I don't know who and I don't know where, but someone has locked up. Are we going to see the lockup on the replay? Another car ran wide.
Looks like there's been a lockup. Let's take a closer look.
Let's have a little look.
Now just focus on the hats.
Far behind.
And there's the lockup. It almost got away from them entirely.
Sure. Couple of positions out of that possibly. We might
the team are devastated.
Have a freebie.
They'll be questioning just what happened out there.
Haas's misfortune here. What are we going to see? Let's get back to the action. Let's see where that puts us in the race. It has put Schumacher right at the back, and Latifi has caught up with Albon, which is kind of what I was looking for, if I'm honest. I kind of wanted to get caught up as much as he could do. If we can get him into a DRS frame with Albon, we will be absolutely fine because they'll both pull away from Stroll and we can leave Stroll and Schumacher to fight that out. Let's get these guys as close to each other as we can without them having any problems with each other, we hope. Albon saving quite a lot of fuel as well, which is really nice to see. I've got more confidence in his ability.
DRS is enabled. DRS is enabled.
In Latifi's, and Latifi has found himself on the back of Stroll. We're going to go back into saving, and we're going to go to neutral here.
Copy.
Because that feels like a good plan. He is going for the overtake on Albon. Hopefully they won't hit each other. I'm aware that Latifi is probably the faster of our two cars, but he's also been heavily pushing on ERS of late. Albon, though, has lost the place. He should be a bit motivated to get himself caught up. He's not really got himself caught up. Let's go full deploy. Let's go full deploy with Albon.
Energy if you need
Let's
it.
get him caught back up now. Because he's going to need to, if I'm completely honest. Let's go push, push, push. I don't get stuck behind Nicholas Latifi because that's just embarrassing for both of us. Let's get pushing. Let's see if we can do something here to get ourselves back ahead of our teammate. I could tell Latifi not to fight it, but I don't want to lose. In fact, I am in fact going to tell Latifi not to fight this, I think, if I can. There's an instruction in somewhere, don't fight teammate, that's the one. Do not fight teammate. That's what I want to see. Don't fight teammate, job's done, let's get back to action. Let's see what we can do here. We don't want Albon getting stuck too far behind Vettel, so we are going to have a big push. Probably from both drivers, actually. Probably a both driver big push. Get ourselves up there, see what we can do. And
pushing now.
Deploy.
Copy.
Let's get what we need to get done. Get ourselves caught back up to each other. That
Use energy if you need.
Ideal here. That will be the dream. Let's go back into the first start-finish. Sorry, to the final corner for the start-finish. Right, I forgot how to English then. Latifi does need to get caught up here. We are going to get into a fight with Vettel. That's absolutely fine. We can afford to be in that fight. That's not a problem at all. We're going to go for the overtake on the outside of Vettel. We're going to do it. We're going to make it. We're going to the inside for turn 2. It looks like we may have made it here. We may have made it. And we're going to use the ERS to defend as best we can.
Got it.
Let's have a little look, see where Latifi is in relation to
Good
Vettel. He is going to have to push just a touch on his fuel.
And a new position just gained by Williams. Let's see what happened there. Now we see the Williams here.
Turn 1, took him around the outside, got him on the inside of turn 2, and pushed away with Vettel too close to the wall. And we seem to have made
gaining a position there. Oh, they make it look so easy.
As much as we can ask. So now we're just looking all eyes on
the driver's team there, cheering them on.
A move here, because as nice as it is to be up, I think it was P16. P16 might have been well done. Yeah, 16 with Albon. We do need Latifi to get caught up to Vettel and get away from Stroll, so let's go into that push mode.
No saving required. Yes.
That's yeah, I don't like the no saving required. There is probably some saving required, but the most important thing here is just to get us up ahead and clear of Vettel, which we've done. So we're going to go back to balanced. We are going to go to
save fuel.
Use of tyres.
Okay.
Latifi seems to have
take it
DRS
easy.
on Stroll, so let's go back to a view where we can see that action. I think we're probably going to be stuck in this battle with Vettel for a while, but we do need to get past it. We've got away from Stroll, which is the key thing. We do need to get ourselves past Vettel, so let's have a little look at Latifi. We need to go neutral on the ERS for now. Hopefully we can save some, and we'll do the same there with Albon, because that's just necessary as well at this point. Although Vettel is going to start to catch us, we've just got to try and save what we can, use what we can, just get ourselves into a good position. Latifi, I do want you to try and get past Bud, so we are going to get you up as close as we can. We're going to go into overtake mode as soon as we get ourselves back to that start-finish rate. In fact, let's do a harvest here.
We just need to charge up.
We can go full deploy down to main straight, and hopefully this will set us in to just get ahead of Vettel. If we can get ahead of Vettel and we can just block for Albon, build up a gap, that would be a really strong move. I don't know what Vettel's driving is like then. That's I don't know if that was an attempt. It's claiming it was an attempt at an overtake, but I'm not convinced it was, if I'm totally honest. I think that was Vettel having a weird driving style in the game, to be completely honest. But you know, we'll take what we can get, we'll get what we can where we find it. And I don't know why I'm just making random English sentences up, but there we go. Let's see if we can beat Vettel here. We're going around the outside, having a look. Can we get there? We are into this final chicane. I think we should be able to get some good deployment off if we can just stay close enough here. We've got DRS open. We are going to catch. Let's drop the deploy now. Let's do that all the way down this straight. Let's just get ourselves somewhere. Who was locked up? What's locked up? Was that Albon locking up?
Single yellow.
It was a Norris.
Let's have a
lock-up.
look.
Let's have
Watch
a look
this.
at the
We're
Norris
looking at
lock-up.
Lando
See
Norris.
what happened.
Just a bit too heavy on the
He's
brakes,
gone wide of
and
that
they've
corner,
locked up.
and somehow his car has glitched into a weird position.
We have low battery.
Well, that's good. That worked out really well. Thank you for that, buddy. Recharge ERS. We'll go again. We're still within DRS of Vettel. Albon is going to have to try and push on a little bit though, because I don't want to have any issues with being overtaken by Vettel. There we go, I learned English. We're going to go back to standard tyres because we're going to have to cool the tyres off a little bit.
Okay, happy to lift and coast.
For our strategy. Let's go on board with Albon. Let's have a little look from the trackside view. We've got a whole range of camera options for those who've not had a chance to play the game. Whole range of camera options. We've just got to try and keep Vettel behind us. In fact, I am tempted to say hold cars back behind, maybe bring Latifi into this fight, and then if Latifi can get past, we are good enough to hold. Let's try that. Let's
make sure we keep them behind.
Keep Vettel behind.
Okay.
That's a good idea. And then we are using ERS, so we're going to have to harvest here. Can we do something? We've lost that position. That's maybe not
And
worked
that's
out.
a lock-up!
The yellow flag for a lock-up from Verstappen.
We can take
Let's
a look
see what
now.
Max has done.
Now here we see Max Verstappen. And yes, that's the lockup.
Same corner, same outcome. Bad luck for Max.
That's going to be a big blow to the team. Will they be able to recover?
I mean, disaster.
We'll see.
Disaster is happening in the Red Bull garages. Let's go back to the action though, because that's what we're really here for. I mean, Verstappen will have fallen down the order quite a way there. Where's he fallen?
Do not do anything.
Something's happened. Vettel's
still a lot to
overtaken
play for.
Albon.
Here's the replay.
Let's have a look at the
Let's have a look
replay
here. This was the Aston
That I
Martin.
think was what was happening as we were dragged away for the Verstappen lock up. It looks like it. I mean, that's
And they get
easy
past,
pickings.
which moves them up.
I don't like that, so we are going to have to change strategy. Change strategy with Albon. We're going to go back to let's not hold cars behind. Let's do a push. We're going to have to harvest the IRS. That's going to be inevitable, and we're just going to have to settle in for this phase of the Grand Prix. Hope we can stay in DRS range of Vettel, and we'll go have a little fast forward in time and see if anything changes for us.
Seems to have been a lockup. Let's take a look at the replay.
We've had a
Look at
lock-up
this,
from
it's Pierre Gasly.
now, and this turn seems
Oh,
to
and
be
there's
catching
the
everyone.
lock-up.
It's almost
That's
hit the
the
wall.
last thing
He's
they'll have
just
wanted.
avoided it, and then weirdly turned back. I don't understand.
The team are really
I don't
disappointed
understand
with
what's
that.
happened there. I
Let's
don't know
hope
what
it
that's
doesn't
done
set
for
them
our
back
race
too badly.
either. I did go into fast forwardy mode just to get us into a bit of a march on. So Gasly now is behind us as well. We're up in 16th and 17th. We've
Got loads of energy.
That's a perfect
Copy.
time to rejoin. So let's see what we can do here. Where is Latifi? Latifi does need to have a defender here, so we're going to go defend with Latifi. And I guess Albon, we're going to try and push on with him a little bit, because I think maybe he can get himself.
Use
ahead of
overtake.
Vettel. Let's go on board. Let's see what
Okay.
we can do here on the T-cam, and we're well up on fuel in fact, so let's push on the fuel, see what we can get done here. We're going to also push on the fuel with Latifi while we have the option of doing that, and we'll see what we can do. Let's go for this. Let's see if we can get ourselves a good overtake going, because if we can get ourselves a good overtake or a good overtaking run on Vettel, we could be laughing here. We're going to go do the same
They'll come
with
to us.
Latifi.
Yes.
Go aggressive on the tyres rather than attack for Latifi, because that's not really his strong suit, being full attack. Almost made the move there. Are we going to make the move somewhere down the main straight here? We are on full overtake, so we could get something done. DRS is open for both cars, although Mick's also very much in range of Latifi. He had a little look there in the last corner. Did he have a look out of the last corner? Can we get the traction down? Can we get something going here? We should have something to offer. We're going for it. We're going for it on the outside. We've done this before. Outside on turn 1, inside on turn 2. Can Albon make this one stick? Can he make it go? We've gone to the outside cam. We've gone for it. We've got it through. We have made that happen. And now we've got Latifi in striking distance of Stroll. And I think we've got to do much the same strategy here. Just try and get ahead and see what we can do.
And there's an overtake from Williams. Let's take a closer look. Now watch this. Here's the moments involving Albon.
Here around the outside, up the inside. Latifi had a cheeky little look as well. Didn't make the move in the end. But I think if we can get a good
they take
push
advantage
Latifi,
and muscle their way through. Excellent work.
Vettel, and we could find ourselves in a very, very
that
good
was a
position.
big
We've
moment.
Excited,
the team are clearly
we've
delighted.
Our crew, which is another thing we like to do. Good stuff. And that puts us up into P15 with Alex Albon. But it is Latifi now. We're going to go on board with Latifi because he should be in striking distance. If he can get himself into a DRS zone, he will be in striking distance of Vettel, and we should have a really good shot of getting something done. He has gone for it, not even in DRS, in the hairpin. Great stuff by Latifi. Albon, we're going to bring his fuel down just so we can make sure we have got enough to get to the end of the race. And I think maybe we will bring his tyres down in just a second. Let's
see what happened there. Now let's look. We're watching Nicholas Latifi.
Good up the inside, and Vettel will be very embarrassed to have been overtaken by Latifi. And it's his buddy Mick Schumacher lining him up for a
bold move indeed.
Next.
And with
so that should be a very, very special piece of battling. We are going to bring Albon's tyres down. We're also going to bring Latifi's tyres down as well. We're going to keep him on the high fuel use though, because that feels like a good plan. We'll go
back off.
Neutral on the DRS as well, because that I just messed
use
up.
energy. Yeah.
Let's go there. Right, so we're going to keep an eye out on Latifi on fuel. Hopefully he'll be fine to push away a little bit from Vettel. We are going to go, in fact we're going to go to a defend here just down this back straight, because otherwise Vettel is very much going to take a look down the inside, as we can see from the rear wing cam. Although Mick Schumacher also having a go. He's absolutely done us there. He's done us. Can we hold it tight up this inside line? I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can. We have made it stick. We have made it stick. Let's look at the onboard camera. We are okay for now. We are going to keep the ERS
That's it.
on to defend though, and there is a yellow flag in sector 3. I don't even know
and
who's
a new
in
position
sector 3.
just gained by Williams. Let's have a look.
Again.
Now we see the Williams here.
Wide at one point. I didn't even see it was 3 wide at one point. That was how much I was just focused on that battle, but it did come good.
And there they go.
We moved up a position. That is all she wrote for us.
Is that a lock-up? We can take a look now. Let's take another look. There we have Joe. Well, they've locked up. They won't have been happy about that.
So he's just about 5. I don't know if that's going to knock him behind us.
And the team had such high hopes today.
We don't need to worry about what's going on in the Alfa Romeo garage. We just need to see where that's Juan Nujar in relation to us. He's still in 10th, so we're still okay. And Latifi still very much defending for his life. It's 11 laps in now, and I think there's a trail forming behind Latifi, and I'm tempted to tell him to pull back the cars behind if he can, because I'd like to get Albon a gap if I can, especially now Latifi has lost Albon. It's probably a good idea we get that going. We'll go back to balance fuel.
All okay on fuel, so you can do what you want for speed.
Hopefully we'll be okay.
Copy.
Keep everyone behind us, that would be ideal. Let's have a little look from the over the rear wing cam. We've got Vettel there, we've got Schumacher there, we've got Gasly there. As we go into the final corner, can we hold on with DRS? This is going to be a real challenge, especially now we've used all our ERS as well. Latifi really going to have to go for it here, really going to have to try something here. We're going to go neutral on the ERS because otherwise we could be in trouble. We've managed to hold firm into this corner, and it's just going to be about harvesting now through this little twisty technical section of the track. to see what we can do, ready to defend again as we get through onto the next lap. We are, though, dropping behind Albon, which is what I want us to do. I want us to drop behind Albon. I want us to hold guys back. We are currently 12th and 13th. Something's happened with Danny Rick, I think. Will this be a Danny Rick lockup we're about to see? It's looking like it.
Sounds like someone's locked up. Let's take a look at the replay.
Max Verstappen,
we're just watching the Red Bull.
Mare, and he's let one of the Alpha Tauris through.
Yes, there.
With
that's
that
the lockup.
Which is, frankly, not his finest
and
moment.
That was a bitter blow.
Skip the Red Bull garage reaction again, because we haven't got the desk smash reaction we've been hoping for. We've gone on board with Latifi, who's lost a place to Mick Schumacher. And very much now, I need to think about how I'm going to get that place back. So let's go to the other onboard camera. Let's go to overtake mode and try and win this place back. Because
Haas with an overtake there.
Get after Albon, we could be in real trouble. Albon, by the way, is currently sitting just a few seconds behind Max. He should be able to see him on some of the slower corners, you would think. Let's switch on board for that whilst we wait for Latifi to do a big catch-up on Mick Schumacher. Can we see anything up the road? Can we see any glimpse of a Red Bull car? If he locks up again, we'll definitely see a glimpse of a Red Bull car. And we're doing okay so far. If you'd asked me about being 12th at any point in this race, I probably would have laughed at you. We can see Max just off in the distance there, a little bit pixely, but we can see him. So let's go back on board with Latifi.
We need to charge
ERS, so we'll do that. We'll go through the harvest as we come through this corner. And hopefully things
we just need to charge up.
Better. We're going for a look on Mick down the inside. It's always the wrong place to be on that corner. You want to be on the outside for turn 1, so you can have the inside for turn 2. We haven't quite pulled it off, and Latifi now possibly dropping away a little bit from Mick Schumacher. He's outside of DRS, and he does need to correct that a little bit. Maybe we'll give him a little bit more tyre to play with, just to get him back up within DRS, because otherwise Mick is catching Alex at a rate of knots, and we do not want that to be happening. So we've got to keep an eye on this. We've got to keep an eye on things really closely here. For now, Mick is pulling away though, so I think we can probably safely say the battle is done there. We'll go back to Alex just to see how things are going there, and hopefully he won't get caught by Mick too quickly.
Alpha Tauri gained a place. Here's the replay. Now look at this.
And now Gasly here has managed to make a move on Latifi, and it was only a matter of time really before a guy like Gasly in a much faster car got past Latifi.
Goodness me!
I mean,
there they go,
so much
moving ahead of the other driver.
And there is also, I'm very aware, the McLaren of Danny Ricciardo.
The team are devastated
Behind him.
They'll
So
be
we can't be devastated by that. I think that's an overreaction. I think we just have to accept that Magnussen's back there, Show is back there, Ricciardo is back there.
Is that a new race position for Haas?
Now
let's take a closer look.
Albon,
right, watch this. There's Schumacher.
We are going to start going backwards a little bit here. You see Gasly has caught up with us now as well, very, very quickly, and that was sort of
gaining a position
expected.
There. Oh, they make it look so easy.
It's going to be a down to.
That's going to be a big blow to the team. Will they be able to recover?
Hopefully, we'll have a little look in a second to see how things are going. Let's have a little look at who's stopped out of turn. So, Show, Magnussen, and Ricciardo have stopped, and all of the cars. We have entered the pit window for our strategy. The gap between our two cars, is it good enough to double stack? That is the real question here. I'm just doing a little bit of a map count type deal. Unleash some of that ERS.
Looks like that was a position gained for Alfa Romeo.
Oh, we've just lost their position to an Alfa as well. I missed the rest of the button. Sorry, so we have got on board with Albon right now, who is currently trying to do a defend against Gasly. Hopefully he can hold him back. Latifi is about 7 seconds behind, so we should be able to get away with the double stack. Just about. It's very much going to be about what can happen here as Gasly goes for a look here. When we're neutral on fuel, the battery is drained on Albon's car. It's going to be ideal here, and he has been passed by Gasly. It's
still a lot to play for.
14th is still pretty good as things stand. I'm not going to hold that against him. And now we're in the DRS, so we should start to
That's
make
a
up
position
some time,
gained
make up
for
some fuel.
Alpha
Gasly
Tauri.
overtaking
Let's
Albon,
see what
having a
happened
look
there.
at, though,
Now look at
just to
this.
see what's
It was
happening
the
with that
Alpha
camera.
Tauri
His camera
driver
was
involved.
terrible. We've managed to see it there. And he's just kind of got him, taking it too far. We've got him, and that's probably the last we'll see of that Alpha Tauri. And Guan Yu Shou is probably coming through at a rate of knots as well. Latifi, meanwhile, is only under pressure from Magnussen and from Ricciardo. So nothing too strenuous. Let's not hold back cars behind anymore. Let's actually go out there and race. That's probably a good idea. Let's go.
Haas with an overtake.
Neutral there. Magnussen
Let's have a look.
Latifi will have a
All
look
eyes
at that
on
as well.
Kevin Magnussen here.
They've made the pass coming into the main straight. I think that is.
And there they go,
Ricciardo
moving up a
probably could have had
position.
look as well,
Just
but he
incredible.
didn't. So that is all well at the moment. Going into turn one now. Ricciardo probably having a look. He's not going to make it. I've gone neutral on the ERS with Latifi. Hopefully he'll be smart enough to use it to full effect. Hopefully Albon needs to stay in touch as things stand with Gasly. Just stay in DRS range. Hopefully we'll be fine. We've got a couple more laps to go until we hit our pit strategy. So it's just going to be about making this work somehow, keeping Albon close. We will push. In fact, we're going to push now because we're going to be on an in lap in 2 laps.
Do
time.
everything you can, mate.
And I think
Copy.
it's probably a good time to go full push, see what we can get here out of the car, and hopefully make some good inroads.
McLaren gain a position. We
And
can take a
Ricciardo
look
now.
now look at this.
Latifi,
Daniel
so
Ricciardo
Latifi
involved
is back
here.
to being where he likes to live, dead last. Ricciardo going long at this point. The players will start to fade after Latifi did. So
And they clear it. Big
interesting
move for
to
them.
see where
And a
Ricciardo
race
actually
position
is
gained.
in the net running order because he has already stopped.
The team
So,
are really disappointed.
Who knows where we could be once we get faster on our last run of tyres. Latifi should be able to have a go back at Ricciardo at some point here. Let's go give him some overtakes to see if he can get past Ricciardo. And we are very much hoping to scrap and get ourselves back up into P19. That would be nice here. We're going up the inside. It looks like we're going to make this move work. Have we made the move work? Not quite. We're still on the inside though. We're still holding our line. And we're going to go into the start-finish straight. We should have DRS. We
have
do
low
have
battery.
DRS. We've run out of battery though. It's going to be a bit of a heartbreaker. We are going to make it though into turn one. We should have the line here. We have got the line. We've made it and we have found our way through on Danny Rick up into P19, which is good. We're not going to bother watching the replay on that one. We are
And there's
just
an
going to go back
overtake
to
from
Albon
Williams.
and see where Alex is at. He is struggling to keep up with Gasly. I think that was always expected that he would struggle to keep up with Gasly. But at this point, I'm very much just thinking about let's have ourselves a little bit of a push. We've got the pit window roughly
You can stop
about
lifting
to
coast.
open, so we
Copy.
can get some pace under our belts, get caught back up with Stroll maybe, and just do enough to keep Danny Rick behind so that when the pit stop shakeout, we are further up the track than we would otherwise be. I think if we can undercut Stroll or we can beat Stroll through the pit phases, we'll probably laugh in some respects. Danny Rick gets DRS, he's going to go for a look here. Can Danny Rick do something into this corner? We're going to find out coming up. He's not going to make a move through the chicane. Where's he going to go now? Out through this corner. Through this last corner. Could be where he makes the move. He's looking on the outside, and that's a bad move. Bottas and Verstappen are in, and our pit window should be opening on this lap. So we will see what happens when we come out the other side of the pit window. This is the optimal lap for our pit strategy. So let's see where we're going here. We are going on to the fresh set of hards to the end, unless we get a safety car, of course. Let's have a look at our car parts. There is no damage to anything. We are pretty much okay. Let's pit this lap and let's see where we end up. Also,
Okay, box.
Be about to come in to have a nice pit stop as well. Should give us the little pop-up message. Verstappen and Vettel are in. Let's open our pit options here and let's go to that one as well. And very simple pit this lap. Hopefully the double stack won't cost us too heavily. And we're going to try and stay on board now with Verstappen on Albon, who's got Max Verstappen behind him, fresh out the pit on a fresh set of tyres. Is he on hards? Let's have a little look see. I think he probably is on hards. He is on fresh hards. In fact, almost everyone is on hards of some description at this point. So we are very much just looking for this battle to not affect us too much. We're just pushing on into the pit. We've got to keep it down to balance the field. Just trying to
just lift and coast.
This might be the only time we see ourselves in an on-track battle with a Red Bull, so we should probably enjoy it while we can, because it's not going to last very long, I can tell you that for nothing. Verstappen at DRS is probably going to come pretty close to overtaking us through one of these corners coming up. He's not going to go through this corner. Thought he might have a look on the outside of that one. He didn't have a look. We're going to come back round this sweeping left-hander. Next DRS zone. It's DRS zone number 3 of the lap. Verstappen again, wing open, having a look. He's going to have a look up the inside. He's probably going to get us onto the final turn. He's got us before we even get into the braking zone. And this will be Albon coming in for his pit stop. The perfect timing for coming in for this pit stop. If we're honest, probably could have pushed a bit harder on the previous set of tyres, but that's a lesson for another time. We've managed to hit the pit limiter, and we'll see how this pit stop goes. Hopefully well. Latifi also in the pit lane, so he's going to be a big double stack for us. Hopefully no errors, no mistakes. 2.7 on the stop for Albon. Let's have a look at Latifi, who is going to come in now for apparently a set of mediums. I'm sure I didn't say mediums. He's coming in for no tyres, apparently. So double stop animations don't necessarily work properly. That's absolutely fine. We are going to go to standard on these tyres.
Yeah, take it easy.
We need to, and we're just going to try and coast through and see where we come around the track. Currently Albon is 7 seconds behind Ricciardo, but still 4 seconds above Vettel. So I think that I can safely say we've probably got the best out of that we could have done. Let's move on forward and let's see what we can do from here on out.
Was that a lock-up on the track?
And Guan Yu Zhou has had
take
another
a closer
lock-up in turn 12.
Let's watch this. The Alfa Romeo involved in this one. They've lost it. They've locked up.
Lock-ups, because I feel like I've seen that same lock-up about a dozen times. How much time
and the
did Guan
team
Yu
had
Zhou
such
lose,
high hopes
though?
today.
That's the big question. How much time has Guan Yu Zhou lost? Has he come into play with any of us? Not quite. He's not far up the road from Albon, though. And if he needs to make another stop, he could be in trouble. George Russell comes in for what I think is his first pit stop of the day. Stroll is yet to pit, so he should come out behind us if my maths is right. He's 8 seconds on the road. He will come out behind us. And probably a few guys up the road who might come out behind us as well. So we're not fully out of this yet. We're not fully out of the running yet. We're just going to have to kind of let things play out and see what happens as we go forward.
Looks like there's been a lock-up. Let's take a look at the replay.
So Carlos Sainz in trouble. He looked like he was trying to attack. I think that's Perez ahead of him. He's just locked up and gone wide, and he's definitely gone down a few positions by doing that. We'll have a little look to see where he has dropped down to, because it probably isn't pretty for him. Let's go to 2 times.
We're not okay on fuel.
Perez, who now leads the race. Latifi is low on fuel. Albon is low on fuel as well, but they should have enough surely to make it. I feel like I'm going to do a bit of a save just to be on the safe side. Where's our interval in terms of the leader? We are a lap down, so we actually are probably okay. But we will make the best of it, and we'll see what we can do. If I need to save towards the end of the race, I can save towards the end of the race. That's not going to be a huge issue. And for the moment, not really a lot to play for. There's a crash on the track. What's happened there? We've got a safety car out. Okay, this is a real thing. So let's do a pause here.
Safety car. Stay positive. Okay.
Where are we at in terms of laps? I don't know. We are lap 30 of 50. And a set of softs will go 20 laps. Sure, I think we've got to risk that. I think we have to risk it. I don't see the sense of not risking it. We will also pit for Albon for a set of softs. And it might be a stretch, but we're going to see what we can do
I think
here.
that was a crash.
Let's have a
Here's
look at
the
Danny
replay.
Ricciardo's crash.
Daniel
This is
Ricciardo
definitely gonna elevate
involved
us in a
here.
Position. Obviously, because everyone's ahead of us. Ooh,
And that's an off. And
That's-
a big off.
that's far from ideal, Danny.
That's going to be a big blow to the team.
Out.
Will they be able to recover? We'll see.
It's going to put your insurance up. No playing for you, I'm afraid, buddy. So we are pitting both drivers, Snowden Norris Gasly and Mick Schumacher. But I feel like probably quite a lot of drivers are going to come in for softs. We'll see what tyres everyone comes out of the pits on. Everyone is making other stops, so we're just kind of waiting to form up behind the safety car. There's nothing really to lose because, yeah, we'll fall behind Vettel, but we're going to be on better tyres. I'm assuming Stroll isn't going to come in. If he does, I'd be surprised. A lot of people coming in from mediums, which strikes me as unusual, but you know, we're told we can get 20 laps out of a set of softs. Whether they have 20 safe laps out of a set of softs is very much a different matter, but we will take the gamble. Worst case scenario, we get another safety car, right? So we'll just see what happens. I'm 2.9 on the stop for Albon, and Latifi is coming in fast, so we'll see where he ends up with this one as well. I mean, obviously he's going to end up behind Albon, but it's just going to be a case of maintaining the tyres. See what we can do. We have got these new soft boots on. Let's preserve these tyres for this safety car period, and we're going to harvest our ERS, and we're going to do the same over here as well. We're just going to conserve the tyres, conserve as much ERS as we can.
Save fuel.
And then we're just going to wait till we catch up with the safety car queue. We should be allowed to pass it logically because we are behind the leaders. We are a lapped car at this point, as we can see here. We have been lapped in place, so we should be allowed to pass. And if we're allowed to pass, get on the back of Stroll, I think we're probably in a good position to get some overtaking as we come off of the safety car. We'll come back when the safety car comes in and we'll see what happens.
And obviously no overtaking until the control line.
So we are back for the restart, and the first thing to notice here is you can see from the track map on the right hand side that Vettel has been allowed to pass the safety car. We haven't, for reasons I don't thoroughly understand. We are going to go up to standard pace, standard fuel. In fact, we're going to go up to aggressive pace on there, and we'll push on the fuel. That's a good idea because that way we can try and get our position off the line. But yeah, for some reason this doesn't seem to have the.
We think we can lean on the tyres more.
Feature,
Yes.
which is not really, if I'm honest. It seems a little unfair, but there we go. I guess it's probably also because nobody did the catching up. So we are going to go down a lap.
So there is no overtaking until the control line, and there'll be 2 laps with no DRS.
Which is going to be a problem. Hopefully we can push on, get a bit of a gap to the cars behind us as we get ready to go back underway. Literally Stroll and Latifi who are on the same lap as Albon, which is great. We've really been screwed by the safety car there, if I'm honest, and we really need to get a shake on because otherwise we're going to be in trouble really fast out the box. So Albon, can he make a move on Stroll at the very least? Should have something in it. Let's go to the
Energy's
attack,
good.
and let's go to overtake mode.
Come on.
And we'll do the same here. Overtake mode and
Use overtake.
See what we can do here. On board with Albon.
Use everything from the tyres.
Cars past him. Is it going to help him catch up with Stroll? Let's be entirely honest here. That is not going to catch up with Stroll at all. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. What's happened here? Yellow flag in sector 4. I think everyone has been caught up in that,
It's
including
a crash.
us.
Let's see what happened there.
I'm not
So let's
entirely
look at
clear
this.
what happened.
There's Sergio Perez.
Has come around the corner, locked up.
A definite collision there.
Okay,
That's
so
very
he's
unfortunate.
a new front wing and will come out very far back on the grid. I'm not sure what happened with everything else though. It seems to be a tyre on the track, and we're not entirely sure what happened there. The tyres are overheating, so we're going to push the fuel
Back off.
to be okay.
Copy.
Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. In fact, it's saying now that Albon might be making fuel, so we'll save some fuel for the rest of the race. We'll see how things go. Latifi has
Save
somehow
fuel,
got ahead of
save fuel.
Albon. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. I'll be completely honest. I'm not
Lifting
entirely
coast will
sure
help.
how that happened. We're also
Copy.
apparently 24 seconds behind Lance Stroll, which is odd because I can see him, so I don't fully understand that. That's not just me. I need to check that. That isn't just me. That is definitely Stroll. Is that Vettel we're behind? We're behind Vettel. So has Stroll lapped us? Somehow. I don't understand. He might have lapped us. I've no idea what's going on with that. I'm very confused. He may well have lapped with Lance Stroll, and if he has, that's a very cruel twist of fate for us. I'll be quite honest, that's a quite cruel twist of fate if we have been lapped. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. If we've been lapped, that's horrendous. So we've just got to make the best of it now and accept that unless someone crashes, we're finishing 18th and 19th because I'm very confused. I'm very, very confused. So we're on lap
Use
44,
overtake.
and it seems like the
Okay.
might be catching up with Lance Stroll. So we weren't lapped by him. I was just very confused. So Latifi leads Albon as things stand. There is an Alfa Romeo catching up. I've got to assume it's Bottas because that's the only thing that makes sense. We do need to start catching up though with Latifi, so we are going on to full deploy on overtake mode as much as we can because we do need to get something out of this. Hopefully we'll get something out of this. DRS open for Albon, which should help as well. We'll go neutral on Albon's DRS, but we need to get Latifi up on the back of Lance Stroll. And you know, we're marginal on tyres. I'll say that for certain. We are marginal on tyres. We're not marginal on fuel. We've got plenty of fuel to burn, so that's pretty good. We can at least start making some inroads, get caught up to Stroll as long as Bottas attacks him at the most awkward part of the circuit, which would be ideal if I'm quite honest. Let's have a little look, see how that's going. Bottas is not going to catch him here. I mean, Stroll is right behind Vettel, but Vettel is a whole lap ahead. The highest any of us can finish is 17th. We're really competing for, I guess, the pseudo wooden spoon. In fact, that must be Guan Yu Shou doing the overtaking there, because that makes sense given his proximity to Vettel. I can do maths. I know what I'm doing. I've done this before. This is not my first time with numbers. So let's go back to Latifi. Latifi now is starting to catch up with Stroll, which is what we need him to be doing quite desperately. He is hopefully going to be within a second by the time we get to the next DRS detection point, which I think is somewhere around this corner, if my memory serves me at all. I think it comes out of that line there, which should put us into DRS zone, into the DRS range here. We will harvest for this run through DRS, and we'll harvest for that one as well. Hopefully we can make some inroads somewhere as we come through all of this to getting on the back of Stroll. We are almost within half a second now. We just want to overtake Stroll and push away from him. That's the ideal. That's the game here. That's what we're looking for as we come around the final corner. We should have really good traction off this, even if there is just 10% left on our soft tyres. I'm not sure how close we're going to be to marginal on the tyres at the end. Maybe the mediums were a much better idea. Perez though is making good time, but of course it's Perez, the tyre master, as Albon comes through for a pass on Latifi, who is going to be the one that... Can we stop fighting each other, first and foremost? Let's stop fighting each other. Who's had the fastest lap so far? I mean, Albon is faster, so I think the only sensible thing we can do here is tell him to not fight his teammate. That's ridiculous thing to be doing when Albon could be finding his way through and fighting the boy wonder, Daddy's Cash, Lance Stroll. I don't know why I call him Daddy's Cash, he's one of my favourites. There's an embarrassing confession. Lance Stroll is in fact one of my favourite drivers. But you know, we're not going to rehire him for Williams. Don't panic. That's not going to be a thing that happens. We do need to get pushing now. Get pushed up as fast as we can. We're lapping. Albon is lapping 3 seconds a lap faster than Stroll as of last lap. It's a Haas coming through, which won't help matters. That is probably Magnussen, I would guess, coming through. And again, it's just Albon now is being ditched by Stroll. Hopefully we can get some benefit from DRS here to get ourselves caught up to him. The Stroll has definitely turned the wick up a little bit to give himself the advantage to push away. We need to just stay on the back of Magnussen here and try and follow him through.
5 to go.
If we follow him through, we should be
Got
okay. We're going to maybe go for a DRS pass into turn 1, which would be awkward because we'd have to get out of the way again. We just need to stay on the back of him, let him tow us towards Lance Stroll, and if we can get a dramatic late race pass on Stroll, we'll be okay. I think we'll be fine. But you know, this race has kind of been a bit of a washout for us. We're still finishing last. We are going to have to do some upgrades on the car going into the next race for sure. I don't want us to be struggling at Melbourne. I'm hoping something will come in between now and then development-wise, because we just need more pace. We really need more pace out of this car. I'm really tempted to drop the Latifi and see if I can get someone who can give us some pace.
Coming down.
I don't know whether
Copy
Bottas
that.
is still happy to join us, but he's driving in 4th right now, and that would be enough for me to bring him in, quite frankly. So, you know, we'll have to give that a bit of thought as we go towards the end of the race. We're going to have a conserve of some fuel because there's really nothing to
Drop
go
back a
for
bit.
at this point. I think
Okay.
it's safe to say we can call this one a write-off.
Yeah, take it
And,
easy. Okay.
You know, just it's going to come down to trying to make it back without a puncture at this point, I think, because Stroll is going to disappear now. Our tyres have gone off the cliff, and I think we're just going to fast forward towards the end, and we're going to see how things
Okay,
go.
energy's
We are
good.
fully charged on the
Okay, copy.
It's helping nobody, frankly.
The rear is a little bit on the edge.
Thanks for that, buddy. The rear is a little bit on the edge.
Copy
That's
that,
fine.
understood.
We should be getting
Guys,
into
these
the last
oscillations
lap
are
now.
killing
It
me.
looks like Leclerc
Anything we could do?
is miles ahead as we go on to the last lap.
To me, there is
Charles
already gone.
Leclerc.
I have no regret anymore.
We know you have no regret
Copy.
anymore. I'm
Do
not
you want
really
to
helping
keep
you
working
catch
these
Stroll,
tyres?
but we're on board now with Charles Leclerc, who is starting his last lap of the race, and we'll see what's going on here. So the order is currently Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton in 3rd, Bottas in 4th. Verstappen is catching Bottas. He might make a late dive. The Ocon has just made a late dive on Verstappen to go up into 5th. That will have upset the Orange Army. Alonso is currently fighting off Perez. We can see this battle going on here. This should be a good one. In fact, we've got George Russell just behind as well. This is a solid battle for us to follow during the last lap of the race. Give us something to look at. Gasly has got himself all the way back up into 10th with the main magnificent drive for the Frenchman. And will not stop me being interested in him as a new signing going forward as well. But here we find ourselves following this battle. Alonso, Perez and Russell.
This will be our last
47.
lap.
We're on our last lap now, which is fine. Hopefully it will be okay. We're just going to try and keep things status quo on our team. Really, there is really no need to worry about trying to push, because that gap is not going to. We're not going to lap 6 seconds faster than Stroll as Alonso tries to make his way through here. Can he do something? First place has been done. Leclerc is in. Let's have a little look at this battle between Ocon and Stroll. So Ocon and Verstappen. Is Ocon going to
That's
hold
Leclerc.
off Verstappen
Charles
here
Leclerc
to the
is
line?
today's winner.
We are
Let's
gonna
have a
watch
look.
someone cross the line.
Charles
Looks
Leclerc there,
Ocon has
taking home the
held
win.
off Verstappen. And Charles
After
Leclerc
that
takes a
performance,
win.
there's no
Top of
doubt
the
that they
podium.
deserve their
Sainz will have
spot
come through
at
in
the top of
second,
the podium.
which is just kind of what we expect at this point. He'll be very happy, very celebratory as these things go. And, well, you know, Charles Leclerc has done well. We will see confirmation here that Ocon will be finishing just ahead of Verstappen. They haven't quite managed to catch Bottas yet. Perez has got himself ahead of Alonso as well. Will Russell make a move on this last lap? Maybe, maybe not. Can he get across the line ahead of him? He can't. Alonso comes in 8th. So our top 10 then is, we're going to ignore that, is Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Bottas, Ocon, Verstappen, Perez, Alonso, Russell and Gasly. And big points gain for Ferrari out of all of this, as Albon is kind of pointlessly trying to fight George Russell by the looks of it. They're just going nice towards the line, as they do. Yellow flag in sector 3, and I can't imagine that would be 4, because everyone above us, ahead of us across the line. Will we get a replay of whatever it was? Probably not. And we've crossed the line to wrap up the race. And that was the ball game. Really disappointed with that as a performance. That is probably going to put us bottom of the Constructors' Championship as well, which is not exactly what we were looking for.
Good work from the Williams driver here today. This was a mixed performance from Williams today. Some excellent decisions and then some strategies that will need a bit of work.
Yes, I imagine they'll roll up their sleeves now and make sure their next performance goes even better.
Now that all the points have been tallied, the team is in 10th place in the constructor standings.
And for the next round, Formula One is heading down under. Exciting times ahead in Australia on the shores of the Albert Park Lake.
So we've dropped down to 10th in the Constructors, which will put us behind Alfa Romeo. Sorry, definitely behind Alfa Romeo, behind Aston Martin. Vettel moves up a place, which will have made the difference on countback. It's not ideal. We do need to get a point, and we need to get a point fast. As for the race weekend, Latifi 660 experience points, Albon 647, 745 for Jack Aitken, which should give him something to move on from. Let's continue on from there. We have made a decent profit from the race, which is good. We've made ourselves 3.7 million, which I'm probably going to invest in something to do with the HQ, unless I decide that it's time to bin Latifi and get ourselves on the driver. It'll probably be a couple of days before I record another episode, so give me your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Should we replace Nick Latifi already? The options on the table, if you did want, just having a little look there to see if there's any development points available for anyone. There aren't. So the options on the table then are, we can go for, if it will show me the list anytime soon, we can go for Valtteri Bottas, who is apparently interested despite being 4th in the Constructors' Championship right now, which is an interesting thing to happen. We can look at Pierre Gasly, who's having a pretty good season so far. We can look at Sebastian Vettel, who is, he just lapped us in the next best car up the grid. Obviously Albon not interested in negotiating because we currently have him under contract. K-Mag not interested. Lance Stroll is interested, but it's not a big improvement. Shou Kwan Yu also interested. Giovinazzi is a possibility. Yuki Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Nico Hulkenberg, Oscar Piastri, Nick De Vries. A bunch of drivers here who are certainly open to negotiation. And there's some good options in there. Jack Doohan might be a good option, for example. Stoffel Van Dorn might be a good option for us. Sebastian Buemi, who I didn't realise was still Red Bull's reserve driver. There's a thing I learned today. There's a few options here. I mean, you know, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know where you think we should go with that. Also, before we get into the inbox as well, I want to have a little look at our facilities as well. We do need to have a little look at our car development. We've got 8 million in the bank to spend, and I can't help thinking maybe it's going to be a case of, can we get our design speed up. And 8 million does allow us to have more engineers and thus more car parts designed at once. So I'm going to do that to wrap up the episode. Let's spend £8 million on just upgrading our design centre, and we'll see where the future holds. So, in the meantime, guys, if you have enjoyed this episode, please smash that like button, do subscribe, leave comments below, ring the bell so you always find out when I post a new video, share it with your friends, all that good stuff. And in the meantime, I have been Chasing Lamely. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very soon. Have a good one.